season.
More information today surrounding the Navy Yard D.C. shooter. Floods in Colorado continue to devastate that area, leaving more residents stranded.
Chances of showers and thunderstorms get a little bit more active for mid-Missouri as we look at your later Tuesday afternoon hours. We'll talk about the latest in your forecast. KOMU 8 News at noon starts now.
From Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News at noon.
It was still such a shock to us this morning that he would have done something of this magnitude.
Well, the country is still looking for answers today after more than a dozen people died in that Navy Yard shooting yesterday. Good afternoon. I'm Angie Bailey. Those at the Navy Yard are back to work today as we learn new information about the man police say is responsible for that attack. Aaron Alexis was a former contractor for the Navy Yard. He had a valid pass that allowed him on the grounds. The information is prompting some officials to question the protocol used at the yard.
It appears as though Mr. Alexis had the proper identification to enter the Navy Yard, and I think we may have to at some point re-examine, the protocol that was in place at the Navy Yard.
Flags will fly at half-staff today across the country to honor the victims of that tragedy. The ages range from 46 to 73 years old. But good news for the victims still in the hospital today. A doctor at the Washington Area Hospital says multiple victims are in good condition because of quick responses after the shooting started. Closer to home here in Columbia, a city council decision means housing prices could be on the way up. It's called energy efficiency construction requirements, and some local house builders are not very happy about it. KOMU 8's Alexis Rogers spoke with local home builders to see how this is going to affect them and future home buyers. Alexis?
On October 1st, that's when all of the requirements will be initiated. Now, I went around and talked to home builders and just to see what they had to say, and things like having 2x6 walls and different requirements are what they want to see done. Now, this is supposed to be savings on some of the energy as well. So I went ahead and talked to the vice president of the Home Builders Association, and I kind of asked him about what this might change, and he said this will definitely change the price of housing because to make these changes, they're going to have to spend money to do so. So when I talked to him, he said that we should probably keep in mind that you might not get your money back as quickly as you may think. Here's what he said.
For a lot of people, they're thinking that the payback takes many, many years. In most cases, more years than the person who first buys the house will live there. So, if it takes 15 years to pay back the cost of it and you only live there 5 years or 10 years, it means you're paying, you're really not ever getting your money back.
After that, we will have more on that story later at 5 o'clock. It's only mid-September, but MoDOT is already gearing up for the upcoming winter season. KOMU 8's Taylor Barth visited the MoDOT office in Jefferson City today and joins us in the studio now with more on what employees are doing to prep for winter.
MoDOT workers are starting to test and repair equipment, review routes, and train, all to prepare for this winter season. Mid-Missouri saw 2 large snowstorms in February, and travel conditions were severe. MoDOT wants to be sure it's fully staffed and ready to handle regional and statewide storms. Central District Maintenance Engineer Randy Albers says MoDOT plans to hire about 100 on-call emergency snowplowers for the Central District to help clear roads in severe conditions.
With the way our winter seasons are, they're unpredictable, and it's really not cost efficient to staff yourself in a way that meets everything that could happen. So we kind of look to this on-call resource or emergency resource to supplement that amount.
MoDOT hopes to be fully prepared for the winter season by November 1st. For more information on winter preparation or how to apply as an on-call worker, visit our website, KOMU.com.
Columbia Fire Department says a light fixture caused an early morning a fire on the roof of a Boyce & Bynum pathology lab. A fire official says it started because a light fixture was too close to roofing material. The fire department arrived at the scene just after 7 this morning. No one was hurt, only the roof was damaged, and damages are estimated to be about $5,000. Well, the Columbia Police Department released the results of an effort to round up suspected felons today. Police worked with several other area law enforcement agencies and arrested several for felony charges last week as part of a saturation effort. On Thursday and Friday, police made 150 traffic stops, made 35 total arrests, and arrested 14 people on felony charges. You can go to our website, KOMU.com, to read more about those arrests. The investigative book, The System, has a critical chapter about Missouri athletics, and it hit bookstore shelves today. It is named The System, the glory and scandal of big-time college football, and it devotes an entire chapter to the relationship between tutors and athletes at MU. The book describes the program at MU as a sexually charged and poorly supervised environment where the relationships between the tutors and athletes were described as friends with benefits. In response, Coach Pinkel said yesterday the athletic department does not have a problem, but he would not hesitate to act if it did. Last week, the athletic department made a statement about the release, saying the author didn't contact the department before publishing the book. The authors, on the other hand, say they reached out to Pinkel, but he turned down an interview request. Jerry Sandusky's challenge to his child sex abuse conviction goes before a state appeals court in Pennsylvania today. The former Penn State assistant football coach wants a new trial. Among the issues they're expected to tackle, whether a prosecutor improperly referenced the fact that Sandusky didn't testify and whether jury instructions were mishandled. 2 years ago, Wall Street and surrounding parks were teeming with protesters angry at corporate greed and corruption. Today, some were back. Occupy Wall Street activists returned to Zuccotti Park and Wall Street this morning to mark the 2-year anniversary of the movement. On September 17th, 2011, Occupy Wall Street protesters first set up a large encampment in that park. Colorado continues to face devastating floods today. Jamestown, a community northwest of Boulder, has been inaccessible for more than a week. In fact, the only way you can get there is by foot right now. Only 40 residents even stayed behind, with the National Guard airdropping supplies to cut off communities like Jamestown. The power company and road construction crews are assessing the damages. There are months of work ahead. Gloomy day out there today. A little bit cooler has us all thinking about fall and maybe mums and scarves. At least that's what I'm thinking. Rosie, how about you?
I'm thinking fall as well, Angie. And in fact, on our extended forecast, we can actually get a glimpse of our autumnal equinox. That's going to be happening this coming Sunday. Quick peek here as to what's going on our live Doppler 8 First Alert radar. We've been anticipating this shower activity all morning, and now it's certainly moving in. About the entire western half of mid-Missouri is getting some sort of rain, light and moderate rainfall at this time. Temperatures right now, for the most part, into the middle and upper 60s. Not a far cry from where we started today, but that's just because we've got so much cloud cover, not going to be a massive warm up. Things are going to be changing as we head into our later afternoon hours. We've got a warm front moving into mid-Missouri that's really going to be increasing temperatures over the next 24 hours. We'll give a better breakdown as to what you can expect with the rest of this rainfall as it heads closer to the next weekend and our temperatures as they continue to spike. I'll give you all of those details coming up in just a few minutes. Angie.
Thanks, Rosie. Well, it has been a debate for a long time now whether or not to pay college athletes. We'll take a look at how MU head coach Gary Pinkel feels about the issue and why some feel the university should give back to those student athletes.